Hello and welcome to BusyWorksBeats.com. Today we continue our beat formula series right here at BusyWorksBeats.com. Today we're going to focus on Metro Boomin and his beat formula. Now he has a lot of different styles. So we're going to go for like the cinematic dark type sound of Metro Boomin. So firstly, I'm using the Chord Chronos for sound, but basically you guys can use plugins like Expand 2. What else? Rolling Cloud would be really good for you guys for like the sound selection. So I'm using an actual keyboard, so the sounds are higher quality. You guys will get the project files for free if you go to busyworksbeats.com/FL Studio. So without further ado, let us begin. Now, I did open up Serato in the case that I would sample. I don't think we're going to sample today. Let's just get a basic groove going, and then we'll build around that. Let's go to these. Let's find our Metro Boomin kit. I pull a lot from the Metro Boomin kit. Anytime I want trap, it's just grab the Metro Boomin kit almost all the time. So first, we want an open hi-hat. I've noticed his use of open hi-hat and cymbals is very distinct. Let me trying to find a cymbal that's not too aggressive. Let's use that one for now. And I'm going to use a different kick, but his snares are like top tier here. So something like this or this. This one's a little shorter. So shorter snares are great for like bouncier beats. Longer snares are good for filling out space. This snare would be good for a bouncier beat. And let's grab a close hi-hat. Again, you guys will get all the project files for free, so don't try to memorize everything I'm doing here. All right, so we have the cymbals, the close hi-hat, we have the open hi-hat. We need an 808, we need a kick, and I think that's it. We have our snare. Okay, so I have my go-to sounds. You guys can get these for free. If you don't know, just go to our busyworksbeats.com/FL Studio. Once you sign up, you'll have access to all my go-to sounds here. It's 8 sounds out of 800 gigs. These are my favorite sounds. Okay, so these just work all the time. Now that we have those, I think we have everything. All right, so I didn't even introduce myself. I'm Game from busyworksbeats.com. We train over 1 million producers around the world. So I'm going to work with Drake, Kanye West, Post Malone, Ariana Grande, French Montana, Young Thug, Lil Baby, Trippie Redd, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, a long list of other folks. And let's get started. All right, so firstly, what we're going to do is set the rhythm. So beats are similar to melodies. You have 4 layers. You have the top line layer, you have the harmony layer, you have the contrast layer, and the rhythm section. The rhythm section of a beat is usually the drums. Contrast layer is usually your bass line. Your harmony is usually some kind of synth or keyboard playing chords. Your top line is going to be your vocal melody or drawn-in melody, or whatever you guys record, like a lead sound, for example. Okay, so now we have this. Let us get into the process here. What was I doing? I forgot. Okay, let's create the hi-hats. So the hi-hats are pretty simple. In FL Studio, just add a note randomly over here and then right-click, fill each 2 steps. I've noticed Metro uses a lot of like back-to-back hi-hats, so like 1, 2, like that. Now they don't have to be like repeating over time. Okay, so we're just gonna spread it out so it's not the same spot every single time. Okay, so let's do the kick for now, and then the snare. So the snare is going to go on the 3 and the 7 count. If you don't know what that is, turn your metronome on and just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the snare is going on that 7, 3, and the 7 count. And for more bounce, we get add that little in between snare. Let's turn it down though. Now let's add this open hi-hat. So let's do. And we can switch it up so it's not repeating. Let's just swap one of those open hi-hats for a cymbal. Okay, so let's clone that pattern. Keep in mind, we're at 140 BPM. This is called double time. So even though it says 4 bars, we really only created 2 bars. So let's make this unique and let's add some more drums. Creating change-ups will keep the ear engaged and less bored over time. Okay, so pattern 2, let's swap something out. Let's swap it for a cymbal. Now here's a little trick. If I want that cymbal to end, I'm going to go to the graph editor, velocity, turn the velocity to 0 so it cuts off the open hi-hat. So it cuts it a little bit short. Okay, so it cuts it short. So these little notes that have 0 velocity are a quick way to truncate a note. You could do it a different way, but I don't have time to explain everything right now. You would just basically go to the envelope, volume envelope, turn this on, turn everything else down except the hold parameter. Now you truncate the note based on how long you play it. But the thing is, you would have to draw it in the piano roll for it to have a length, so to speak. So we're not doing all that. We're just doing it through the graph editor. Okay, let's figure out this kick. So boom, boom, boom. Now, Metro is also known for his double kicks. Now, it depends on where you put the 808. We're not going to do the 808 right now because the 808 is a musical component. It's a contrast layer. So that's going to have to wrap around our music. I'm going to add a Fruity Soft clipper to the master channel just so that we don't clip the video recording. Let me fix my compressor. This thing is... I'm like screaming in the mic. There we go. All right, I just don't like screaming in you guys' ear. There we go. Finally, I sound normal. This is what I actually sound like. I had to like scream to say other stuff. Okay, so now that we have that, let's start getting the music. Let's go to our chord Kronos. Again, the alternatives, you're not going to get the chord Kronos in a plugin version. You're not. This is way too high quality. The closest thing you're going to get is a Rolling Cloud subscription. And, you know, the next best thing, you know, for the money would be Expand 2. There's nothing that matches the sound, though. It's my favorite keyboard. All right, so let's start rapping. So the key here is to use half steps. Going from one note to the note above. That's what creates that haunted sound. Now I want to go dun dun. So let's build around that. That's a pretty dope idea. And I'm also using what's called the sustain pedal on my keyboard so the notes ring out instead of just end. They're not doing this. You know, they're ringing out. I'm going to turn my main volume down so when I hit the keys, it doesn't clip. So I'm recording low and I'll boost the gain in FL. So pretty basic, oh, no, I deleted it. Pretty basic piano. Let's just crank it up in FL. I did that so I didn't clip the recording. Once you clip a recording, you can't get that information back. Okay, so with this top line, this is called a top line, okay? So again, there's 4 layers to melody and 4 layers to beat making. There's the rhythm section, which we already created. There's a top line. There's a contrast layer. Okay, it goes against your top line layer, and then you have a harmony section. Spelled harmony way wrong. Harmony. Okay, so now let's do the contrast, which is to play the low frequency notes. I'm gonna record a little bit louder this time. All right, so I forgot I had it on loop recording, so let's turn that off. All right, so again, you guys get the project files for free. Don't worry about trying to mimic all this. Basically, I'm just playing that root note deeper in the octaves. The root note is F sharp. So the darker keys are E minor. That's really depressing, probably the most depressing scale out there. Key and scale. Then you have F minor, which is like a rebellious type vibe. Then F sharp minor is right around that range, so it's a darker sound. Now let's start getting this. We need like one more kind of synthy sound, and I'll show you guys how to make it sound darker. We need some kind of like atmosphere type sound. Let's double click on each of these audios, hit Control L, send it to the mixer. So I want like a cinematic brass of some sort. And then I also want some kind of like synth that just sounds airy. So I could sit here and go through each little patch. Let's just stick with one. We're just doing the same thing we did with the piano. All right, so again, not the exact brass I was looking for. I was looking for more of a French horn type patch, but I don't remember which one it is on the keyboard, so we're just gonna leave that there for now. Okay, now I need like an airy type sound. It doesn't really matter what the sound is. I just need it to have like reverb, high frequencies, and sound more atmospheric. That sounds pretty cool. Let's do that. So this is called a motion synth on this keyboard. So I'm just layering this with different sounds. That sound is cool. It just went a little low on the low frequency, so I'm going to have to EQ that out so that it doesn't clash with the bass. We're also going to turn that down. All right, so now we have this. Let's add some bells, and then we'll move into the plugins. Record some of these like endings, like all half steps, by the way. All right, so I'm just ending phrases there. One thing I forgot to do with the grand piano is record the higher octave. So let me record the higher octave to contrast against that low. Okay, so you can't hear it when it's stacked like that, but we're layering that so that the impact feels more frequency rich. Okay, so one more thing. Okay, so I think that's it for this synths. Now let's start adding some plugins here. So plugins, again, if you want an equivalent of the chord Chronos, it's not going to be the same thing, but Rolling Cloud is probably the closest you're going to get to a keyboard sound inside of your DAW. Expand 2 is close, but it's not high quality like that. And what else is there to tell y'all? Okay, I forgot what I was saying. So plugins basically are what we're going to do to mangle the sound as opposed to create the sound. So let's figure out how to group and what we want to group. So let's create a melody group. It's called a dark, melody dark. I have a video about the top 10 melody effects. My favorite is Crystallizer, but it will probably crash FL. I don't know what it is about Soundtoy stuff. Let's try it, but if it crashes FL, this is going to cost me like an hour of editing time. So where we at? Crystallizer. Don't click anything. All right, let's save as new just in case. All right, so it loaded up, thank goodness. And we're going to send sounds to this Crystallizer. So first I'm going to mute the stuff first. Let's send the dark stuff to the Crystallizer, because what we're going to do on the Crystallizer is go to the pitch and raise this up 1200 cents, which is 1 octave. And now let's find the super high pitch stuff. I don't think I routed one of these. Here we go. Control L. So I'm sending the bells there too. So it creates like an octave higher than the high octave that we had on the keyboard. So let's send less. I like the sound, but let's send a little bit less signal. Let's send the top line here. Another thing I like to do is group all the melodies. So let's create another group, call it melody. So all the melody dark is going to be routed to the melody. And then I need to start labeling this stuff. So I need to figure out which is sent to melody dark. Let's call this melody dark 1. Because I don't want to accidentally reroute stuff. Anyhow, so melody dark 3. So we have 3 tracks all going to the melody dark. What I'll do to make this easier to see is move the melody dark group over here, hitting Alt left on the mixer to move it around. And I'll like give it a color. Let's make it like purple. So now all these, we are going to give it the same color so that we don't confuse these tracks. The reason we're doing this is because we're routing this group to the melody group, and we don't want to route this only to the melody group. We just want the other stuff to be routed. So I'm hitting Control Shift and then right click, route to this track only. So now everything else that wasn't the melody dark is now routed to this melody group. And then we're routing the melody dark to that group as well. Now everything combines basically. So now we could do cool stuff like the kilohertz pitch shifter. So anything musical is going through these plugins right now. And we're going to pitch this down 3 semitones. Now I'm missing something in this group, I could tell. Gotta figure out where my keys are. Okay, that's there. Okay, I gotta figure out where my missing track is. Oh, this is going out, that's why, okay. All right, somehow I didn't route that only. Okay, I fixed the issue. So now everything's going through this. Now we're changing, the key completely. We're in the key of, if we were at F sharp before, we're at 1, 2, 3. We're at D sharp minor. Or E flat minor, I should say. So now we're in a different key. You could also go +3. So this is just something to test. I did like the original key. But you can make a beat change up. Now, another great thing about this is even if you don't do a pitch shift, you could add grain to the sound with this knob here. So it's gonna add like little glitches in the audio. Okay, so now we need a sub bass of some sort. I'm thinking 808, but we could also use the keyboard. Let me just start with the keyboard first. This is one of my favorite basses. I like the sound. It also has that resonance. That boom. I messed up the ending. Darn, I was doing too much. I didn't think that out. That was dope until I hit the wrong half step. Let me see what it sounds like. I went down. I should have just, darn, I might have to redo that. All because of one note. Let me practice that. That's what I should have did. My dumb self keeps adding in improv and I keep messing it up. Let's do that one more time, yo. I don't know why my finger just rebels against me at the end. Let me try that again. Okay, there we go. My fingers are just tripping. Usually happens when we hit record. Our fingers just... All right, so let's do this. Let's route that to the same channel. All right, so now we have a bass that's not like a typical 808. A little more vibey. All right, let's get the drums a little bit tightened up. I'm gonna add a little more kicks in here for more bounce. Boom, boom, boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, boom. hi-hats a little bit off the grid. All right, so I'm trying to think of another way to add energy to this track. It's that gold clip. All right, so now I'm gonna sidechain the kick to the bass. I have to take off gold clip because it eats up CPU for this live stream or for this video. So now I'm just gonna add little sprinkles on top. I took off the pitch shifter because I just took it off for timing purposes. Let's also delay the kick a little bit. Okay, so now I'm just adding little background stuff. Let's record this. It'd be dope if I had some like funk vocals, but I don't think I have any Memphis acapellas. I might, but I don't think I do. I'll look for them. If I don't, we're not going to stress, but it would be cool to add like an acapella, like I've been inside it, something like that. So now I'm just looking for filler sounds. I might do some 808s just to contrast that bass. To keep this simple, what I'll do on the second half, we're going to swap that bass out for the 808. I'm going to group all these drums, hit Control G. Now it's a new pattern. Copy all your kicks. We're just going to paste it into this 808. We're not going to worry about the notes right now. So now it just has the same rhythm as the kick. That's a very short 808 though. I'm going to go for a longer 808. So in Metro, some of his older songs, he'll do like kick first, then 808. So it's like doom, like that. And I'll do like little note drops here and there. Feel the bounce on the track. So I took out the kick to emphasize the 808. So let's add my plugin called Hades. All right, from busyworksbeats.com/Hades. All right, just hit OK on that. And basically this will add dimension to your melodies. So we have the melodies group. Now we're gonna add that dimension to it. This is built like a guitar pedal. Basically, the harder the input gain, the more effect you get for the secret effect. Also, I need to group these new melodies in here. I forgot to turn on the melody track. Here we go. So let's play it before. I think if you hit Alt right click, you can highlight everything in that group. So here's before my Hades plugin. Here's after. It adds like its own dimension. I love it. It just gives that vibe. So here again is before. Just kind of like sounds are just there and not really like doing anything. Let's turn the plugin back on. I do like the crystallizer, but let's turn it off for now. That Rosetta compressor is crazy. All right, guys, you guys will get the project files for free. Just go to busyworksbeats.com/FL Studio. Subscribe if you're new, like the video, comment, and share with a friend. Peace out, guys.